Ease of doing business, Nigeria engages the key on diaspora cooperation.
It's the first MOU that even the Commission will be signing. So this is history in the making under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And 9 MOUs at a go. It's phenomenal.
Federal government moves to digitize cooperative societies in line with modern trends in agricultural financing.
Is to be implemented with leadership provided by the Federal Department of Cooperatives at the federal level and the State Department of Cooperatives in the various states of the Federation.
Also on the news, First National Council on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction ends with resolution for synergy towards society-focused approach.
We'll move from parallel efforts to coordinated policies, shared data systems, aligned financing, and measuring outcomes across federal, states, and local levels.
Good evening and welcome to the NTA Network News. I am Lami Ali. Joining me from Lagos is Awal Yusuf Jibo. We'll also be checking in with Benny Adams for the latest updates from the capital markets and other business news. Benny, what's up?
Well, talking about the capital markets, it's a sea of grain from Nigeria to South Africa and Kenya and even Namibia. But then the African market, talking about Nigerian capital market, is still bullish. We'll tell you how that works in the course of the bulletin. All
right, and standing by for sports is Bade Adele, who will be bringing us up to speed on developments from the world of sports. Bade, what's making headlines in sports?
And of course, the draw for the playoff round of the UEFA Champions League was conducted earlier today. And of course, it brought up some interesting matchups. We'll tell you more about that.
Do remember you can join this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and across our other social media platforms displayed on your screen. Now, let's get started. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will ensure all victims of insecurity across the country are adequately taken care of by putting smiles back on their faces. The Vice President stated this while inaugurating newly constructed houses for victims of the Tudunbiri drone misfire. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
President is in Kaduna State to bring comfort to victims of Tudunbiri drone misfire, putting smiles back on the faces once marked by pain. Tudunbiri, a community that was once shattered by uncertainty, is now witnessing transformation with newly constructed roads, modern hospitals, schools, and skill acquisition center.
What we are commissioning today is not an isolated intervention. Under this program, similar resettlement and recovery projects are underway across Kaduna, Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Niger, Katsina, and Benue states.
Asabe Ayuba is one of the beneficiaries of these houses, walking through her newly built home with surprise and gratitude.
Thank President and thank God.
And from the Vice President comes a strong assurance.
I want to assure you that no Nigerian is an afterthought in our journey to rebuild this nation. We are determined to find the right balance in making this nation work for all of us, and the federal government remains fully committed to supporting Nigerians affected by conflict.
The children of the victims have been provided with conducive learning environment.
A new primary school has been constructed with the support of the Nigerian Army. I wish to place on record our profound appreciation to the President and Commander-in-Chief.
The Tudunbiri resettlement site represents one component of the total housing allocation for Kaduna State under the RISPIC, with additional units allocated to another site within the state.
Water is life, and of course, water is being provided for the people of Tudunbiri. Life is changing here.
Indeed, it is a new dawn here, from sorrow to hopes and happiness. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Nigerian armed forces will continue to adopt modern security tactics to sustain successes in fighting insurgency and crime. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Makila Noja, gave the assurance as the periodic Defense Media Operations briefing in Abuja.
During these operations, troops neutralized several terrorists and arrested their informants and logistics suppliers. They also recovered weapons and dismantled terrorist networks. The armed forces want to reiterate once again an unwavering commitment to the successful conduct of ongoing military operations across all the theaters. Our troops remain focused, professional, and resolute in interagency collaboration and with the support of local communities.
Now, Nigeria is boosting its search and rescue capabilities by sensitizing stakeholders on the use of emerging technology like satellite beacon to ensure timely assistance to those in distress. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency says empowering users of the beacon system with the emerging technology will ensure timely and effective emergency response that saves lives.
When that distress alert comes up, the kind of reaction that is expected from every stakeholders, so that we'll be able to react as a body that is tasked with disaster management and, well, of course, search and rescue.
The rates of false alerts, we have to continue to engage with the stakeholders and the beacon users on the need for them to manage their beacons properly.
Beacon is to send communication. So this communication will help people who will take decisions.
Users are advised to keep beacons accessible and register them properly with authorities. Nigeria's march towards a gas-powered economy gained momentum as NNPC Limited officially launched its 2026 Gas Master Plan, a blueprint fully aligned with the federal government's Decade of Gas initiative and President Bola Tinubu's From Gas to Prosperity Renewed Hope agenda. At the launch in Abuja, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpeku, and Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Bashir Bayo Ojulari, reaffirmed that the master plan is not a parallel or competing framework, but a strategic tool for execution. Lydia Sampson reports.
While the Decade of Gas outlines the national policy direction, the NNPC Gas Master Plan provides the implementation architecture, ensuring a harmonized and mutually reinforcing pathway for transforming Nigeria's gas sector. Stakeholders underscored that with abundant natural gas reserves, the plan will accelerate infrastructure expansion, deepen domestic gas utilization, and attract new investment essential for industrial growth, cleaner energy, and job creation.
Stands as a clear demonstration of the federal government's unwavering resolve to place natural gas at the center of Nigeria's economic growth, energy security, and social development agenda. It presents a coherent, structured, and forward-looking pathway for advancing Nigeria's gas development aspirations.
Under my humble leadership, NNPC Limited has adopted a stronger, collaborative, investor-centric approach to developing the Gas Master Plan 2026. This edition represents deeper alignment with the Decade of Gas initiatives, industry stakeholders, partners, and investors, ensuring that Nigerian gas opportunity is unlocked.
IPPG members, I'd like to state our commitment and support for this initiative.
The launch and signing of Memorandum of Understanding signals a united front between government and industry players to position gas as the cornerstone of Nigeria's economic renewal by turning policy intent into practical, measurable progress. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The federal government is concluding plans with South Korea, Japan and China for the manufacture of electric cars in Nigeria. To this end, Minister of State Industry and the Asia Economic Development Committee puts pen on paper in Abuja for commencement of production. Benny Adams reports.
EV manufacturing, development of charging points infrastructures nationwide. Number 3 is technology transfer.
Nigeria has taken a decisive step towards diversification by shifting gears towards a future of electric mobility. The first tranche involves 300,000 units of electric vehicles to be locally produced in Nigeria. Stakeholders say it is a defining moment that signals the beginning of a multi-billion-dollar partnership aimed at transforming Nigeria into a regional hub for green technology.
The EVs are a more recent development in terms of innovation and sustainability, and Nigeria has to take the lead. I think that that's what we've just demonstrated and started today.
Partnership is to now get the lithium from places like Kogi and also build a factory whereby we can have these finished products in Kogi and other states that are available.
While previous automotive policies have been stalled at the assembly stage, this deal promises a deeper industrial integration led by Chairman Yong Sung-hoon, who believes it's not just about bringing cars to Nigeria, but bringing the factory and sourcing the raw materials locally for production is the way to go. The National Automotive Design and Development Council has been mandated to follow up for quicker implementation. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Now, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Power Reforms is advising electricity distribution companies to address lingering persistent power outage and ensure value for money to customers. This was during an on-the-spot assessment of power plants by the committee in the Southwest Zone. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
More testimonies continue to emerge as the committee scrutinizes documents submitted by distribution companies. Issue of estimated billing and non-compliance to national metering program were raised.
If we are to convert the total indebtedness to equity, certainly most of the discourse, most of the key core investors, the 60% stakeholding, will be vacated.
Thereafter, members inspected some facilities at the substation of ECO, calling for technology-driven system. The committee was at the Ikeja Electric and Ebin Power Plant in Ikorodu, contributing to the national grid with the installed capacity of 1,320 megawatts. Discussion centered on the interventions made by government and how power can be improved for national growth and development.
In terms of innovation, you have gone a long way and you have really demonstrated that you are out to do the business.
Inshallah, we participate together to make Nigeria great.
We believe constructive engagement between policymakers and operators is essential to addressing the structural and financial challenges of the sector.
The investigative oversight continues. From Lagos, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
To political party matters, the Tanimu Turaki-led People's Democratic Party has assured members that the party remains legally intact following this Friday's Ibadan Federal High Court judgment, which nullified its Ibadan National Convention. PDP's factional national chairman Kabiru Turaki was speaking at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf was there.
This is our notice of appeal.
Kabiru Turaki SAN disclosed that the PDP is aware of the judgment delivered earlier this Friday, which essentially declined to grant the order of mandamus sought by the party. He explained that the court held that granting such an order would amount to sitting on appeal over the judgments of courts of coordinate jurisdiction. Turaki further explained that the judgment is inconsistent with existing orders and previous judgments of courts of coordinate jurisdiction, all of which are already subjects of appeal before the Court of Appeal.
For clarity, we approached the court seeking an order of mandamus to compel the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize the Ibadan Convention and to facilitate official party communications with the Commission. In the course of the proceedings, some former members of our party who had earlier been expelled applied to be joined and were so joined by the order of the court. They filed processes urging the court not to grant our prayers without more.
Consequently, the Ibadan Convention National Working Committee, he noted, has filed a notice of appeal as well as a motion for stay of execution of the judgment, and that they are determined to pursue the matter diligently and logically in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, the factional National Caretaker Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, loyal to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, says it received with satisfaction the judgment delivered by the Federal High Court Oyo Division, which restrained the Kabiru Tanimu Turaki SAN and others from parading themselves as National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The governing All Progressives Congress has officially announced an adjustment to the initial deadline of 31st January 2026 for the ongoing electronic membership registration nationwide and a shift of dates for the World Congresses and National Convention to February 18th and March 27th, 2026. This was made public after the party's 183rd National Working Committee meeting at the APC National Secretariat, where the National Secretary and National Publicity Secretary of the party jointly briefed journalists at the end of a closed session with other national officers in attendance.
We are extending because our request from the stakeholders at the states and from our body of governors, and because we also know that there are quite thousands. As of today, the people that are registered for our party, I will not give you a figure, the figure is more than 100 countries in the world.
Now, for our congresses, we will have exceptions for the following states: Osun State, Ekiti State, the Federal Capital Territory, and Rivers State will be excluded from the upcoming Congress. Continue to mobilize those who are yet to register given this facility of extension.
Party said the development followed a formal request from party stalwarts to have more time for registration. It adds it adds that so far the party has registered more than 7 million members and is prepared to surpass the current figure, while the World Congresses and National Convention are being handled with detailed information to be released in the immediate future. You're watching News at 9 on the network service of NTA. We now pause to bring you some messages. Do stay. You're welcome back. Nigeria and Turkey have commended the initiative of the just signed agreements on diaspora cooperations between both countries. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, has been engaging relevant Turkish ministries and agencies for smooth implementation of the agreements. At the latest meeting after signing of the Memorandum of Understanding supervised by President Bola Tinubu and his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Chairman of NITCOM, Abike Dabiri-Rewa, finalized the process with the presidency for Turks abroad and other related activities. Abike says the new agreements will provide a more structured engagement on diaspora policy and implementation, taking care of the Nigerian students, entrepreneurs, and other residents in the Republic of Turkey.
Cooperation is about both countries mutually cooperating in the areas of diaspora policy, implementation, and then areas of investments. science, technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, education, and a whole lot of things. We have a huge amount of Nigerians here, students, entrepreneurs that are here. So we're going to have better cooperation, people to people. And we have a diaspora commission. They have a ministry for Turkish abroad here in Turkey. So the institutions are already there. The two institutions will work together, our own diaspora commission and their own ministry for talks abroad. So it's the first MOU that even the commission will be signing. So this is history in the making under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And 9 MOUs at a go. It's phenomenal. So we look forward to ensuring this works. The Nigerians here are already excited about this MOU, so we're going to be working with them, and we're sure that it will have a very positive impact.
As part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's official visit to the Republic of Turkey, Nigeria is advancing talks aimed at strengthening research to market pathways between both countries. Here is Justin Bemunyi with the reports.
Speaking during engagements in Turkey, Nigeria's Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Kingsley Udi, SAN, said the federal government is determined to move beyond research for knowledge's sake and focus on innovation that delivers measurable economic and social impact. He noted that Turkey's success in commercializing research through effective technology transfer and strong private sector engagement offers valuable lessons for Nigeria. According to the minister, the government is developing a clear and actionable framework to support research to market collaboration between the two countries. The partnership will prioritize joint research and development, innovation financing, capacity building, startup incubation, and industrial scale-up. He added that the collaboration aligns with the Renewed Hope agenda, which places science, technology, and innovation at the center of economic diversification and sustainable development. He also disclosed that the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, will play a key role in the framework. The Director General of NASDA, Dr. Matthew Adekboju, said areas such as robotics, artificial intelligence, and software development present strong opportunities for collaboration, with the potential to support Nigerian startups and advance the country's space enterprise.
The federal government has unveiled plans to digitize Nigeria's cooperative societies, aiming to modernize operations, enhance transparency in financial reporting, and improve governance across more than 30,000 registered cooperatives nationwide. The initiative was announced by the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, during a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, focused on reviewing the Nigerian Cooperative Societies Act. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
The federal government is currently reviewing the law that sets up Nigeria's cooperative societies. The goal is to improve service delivery without corruption or irregularities. One of these steps is reviewing the act with input from key stakeholders guided by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
For taking this initiative and for the
Here is the Minister of State, Dr. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, highlighting the objectives of reviewing the Act, Cap N98 LFN 2024. The effort is part of the Renewed Hope Cooperative Reform and Revamp Program.
The Act is to be implemented with leadership provided by the Federal Department of Cooperatives at the federal level and the State Department of Cooperatives in the various states of the Federation. And I believe in doing that, they are to maintain the integrity of the cooperative movement.
Main focus area include digital registration and national cooperative database, digital membership ID systems, electronic documents, and simpler administration filings and reporting.
The essence of being here is actually to discuss and review the cooperative law, which has been in process for some time.
The initiative is seen as a major framework to make cooperatives key drivers of community wealth, poverty reduction, and widespread development. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, in a major boost to healthcare delivery in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has inaugurated a state-of-the-art pharmaceutical warehouse designed to ensure uninterrupted supply of essential medicines to health facilities across the state. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Jigawa State had previously relied on pharmaceutical supplies from Sokoto State. However, with the establishment of the warehouse, Jigawa will no longer experience disruptions in the supply of essential medicines. The warehouse is said to be the second largest pharmaceutical storage facility in Nigeria, with the capacity to serve as a central medical store for the storage and distribution of drugs to hospitals and health centers across the state. Not only Jigawa State, but also neighboring states. UNICEF Field Officer for Kano State, Dr. Sium, said the project is part of UNICEF Nigeria's collaboration with the federal government to upgrade pharmaceutical warehouses in 21 states nationwide. Governor Umar Namadi, while inaugurating the facility, said the state had for years faced challenges in sourcing and storing medical supplies, which affected effective healthcare service delivery. The pharmaceutical warehouse marks the end of those challenges and opens a new chapter in the healthcare management in Jigawa State.
The facility is dedicated to providing a unified, responsive and supportive management system that will significantly improve efficiency and ensure the highest standard of service delivery across the healthcare sector.
The state-of-the-art facility will provide secure, climate-controlled environment for the storage and distribution of essential medicines and vaccines.
This warehouse will ensure effective management, coordination and supervision, reduce operational costs to the state pharmaceutical and related product supply chain.
The governor, alongside the emir of Dutse and other dignitaries, later toured the warehouse, inspecting the modern facilities across the various sections and units. The pharma-grade warehouse is expected to significantly improve access to quality medicines and strengthen the healthcare system in Jigawa State and beyond. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Now, a world-class biomedical science research and training center that puts Yobe State on the global scientific map has been inaugurated to advance multidisciplinary biomedical research, training and innovation in Nigeria and beyond. Domiciled at the Yobe State University, Damaturu, the center prides itself on being home to Africa's first open-access induced pluripotent stem cell biobank. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
In 2021, BioRTC was born out of efforts to overcome Africa's research infrastructure gaps, especially in cutting-edge bioscience tools and capabilities. The center now serves as an open-access biomedical science research and training hub focused on addressing major health and science challenges locally, nationally, and across Africa. Governor Mema Labuni says,
we have taken deliberate and strategic measures to facilitate recovery of education, enhance research and promote innovation as we aspire to be part of and represented in the global knowledge production with a little emphasis on our peculiarities.
One of the most serious scientific injustices of our time is that African populations remain underrepresented in biomedical research. Here in BioRTC, we are changing that.
Inauguration of the center also provided an opportunity for the state to honor its three illustrious daughters, Hadiza Kashim Kalli, Nafisa Abdullah Yaminu, and Rukaya Muhammad Fema, for making Nigeria proud at the 2025 Teen Eagle Global English Finals in London. Governor Buni announced scholarships to tertiary institutions and 10 million naira each for their outstanding performance. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The news continues in Lagos with Awal Yusuf Jibo. Hello, Awal. Jibo.
Thank you.
Hello,
Lami.
Awal.
Hello, Lami. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. To keep pace with the latest trends in broadcasting and compete favorably amidst the ongoing paradigm shift occasioned by disruptive technologies, Nigerian Television Authority Lagos Network Center is prioritizing brand sustainability and intentional approach to content improvement to increase its followership and viewership across all platforms. Joel Popola reports that this is the thrust of the Maiden Management Retreat and Leadership Masterclass.
Television broadcasting is no longer business as usual,
and the Nigerian Television Authority cannot afford to be relegated to the background. This informed the 2026 Leadership Master Class, midwife by the Zonal Director, NTA Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Nwosu. One of the facilitators, former Executive Director, Marketing NTA, Mrs. Adenike Olufade, who has managed several NTA stations, challenged staff on the role of mentorship in brand sustainability, stressing the need for leaders to be good role models.
Mentoring is very, very crucial. I mean, we have to do it intentionally. It's not something that we just do by the way. It has to be intentional.
The facilitators dwelt also on mastering emergency media trends to secure NTA's future. The Zonal Director, NTA Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Nwosu, and the General Managers of NTA Channel 10 and ETV believe the training will help NTA to be more impactful.
We have leaders who are going to be GMs. The GMs are seated, the executive directors are seated in that meeting today. And so there's a hope that if they imbibe this and understand that it's not so much about what NTA can do for you, what you can do for NTA.
Anchored on rejigging for excellence, the management retreat attracted senior officers from the 3 NTA stations in Lagos. Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Network News continues with our business guru, Benny Adams, for latest business news after the break. Don't go.
Well, good to know you're here. It's time to talk business. Now we'll begin with the business of transparency, where the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, that is NTA, and the National Human Rights Commission have signed a memorandum of understanding to protect civic space. The MOU aims to strengthen collaboration, promoting transparency, accountability, human rights, and democratic governance. The 2 chief executives described the agreement as a milestone for NTA, NHRC, civil society, and the extractive sector in safeguarding civic space and deepening transparency and accountability across Nigeria.
Group information sharing, enable coordinated advocacy and joint responses to issues at the intersection of extractive governance and human rights.
Civil society in particular that ought to benefit from this. We assure them they can count on us that whatever that needs to be done on our own part.
Talks at this time, the big 3, talking about Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya, displayed a sea of red. But looking at the big picture, it's a sea of green. This is as the Nigerian exchange dipped by 0.09% in all share index, but the market overwhelmingly remained bullish despite some profit taking in the Tier 1 banking. Heavyweights like Access and UBA, the market breadth was still a lush green filled with 32 gainers, outshining the decliners. Reed Briscoe and Omatech are both recorded as the fresh 52-week highs. In South Africa, it is 4.52% downwards, while the Nairobi All-Share Index also dipped by 1.38%. That is it on business for the week. Lami, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Benny. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has directed all domestic airlines to add a mandatory special needs assistance option on their ticket reservation platforms. This is to ensure that passengers with disabilities or reduced mobility can request help when booking flights and at the airport or during the flight. NCAA says airlines must comply within 7 days or face regulatory action. The rule is part of Nigeria's aviation regulations to make air travel more accessible and inclusive. Nigeria's humanitarian and poverty challenges demand coordination, coherence, and collective responsibility across all levels of government and society. These are views of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Bernard Doro, and other stakeholders as the conclusion of the first National Council on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction held in Calabar, tagged Calabar 2026. Paul Abel reports that the theme is beyond the national, strengthening subnational and multi-stakeholder synergy for a unified approach to humanitarian response and poverty reduction.
For 3 days,
delegates, development partners, stakeholders, and other key players in the humanitarian sector converge here on Calabar to brainstorm and come up with a policy document that will guide its affairs across Nigeria.
We will move from parallel efforts to coordinated policies, shared data systems, aligned financing, and measurable outcomes across federal, state, and local levels.
Let us reflect upon the importance of collaboration among government, civil society, international organizations, and local communities.
Governor of Cross River State, represented by the Deputy Governor, harps on the need to defeat poverty in Nigeria.
We have over the years hosted several vulnerable populations and carried out numerous intervention welfare.
This forum, therefore, provides the needed bridge between the national policy direction and grassroots implementation.
There were goodwill messages from stakeholders, while the lecture on the theme dwelt on measures to eradicate absolute poverty in Nigeria. A 23-point draft communique was released at the end of the council meeting, giving guidance as the highest policy stand of the sector in the country. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Latifat Olufunke Gbajabiamila on her conferment with an honorary Doctor of Science in Business Administration by Summit University of Kwara State. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the president described the 96-year-old UK-trained nurse as a trailblazer who made history as the first female elected executive chairman of a local government in Lagos State, setting a lasting example of courage and leadership for women in governance. President Tinubu praised her life of resilience, professional excellence, and community service, commending Summit University for recognizing her contributions to healthcare and for naming its proposed College of Nursing in her honor. He said the Latifat Gbajabiamila College of Nursing will preserve her legacy of compassion and discipline in shaping future caregivers and leaders. The president also acknowledged her devotion to faith through the Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria and her role in raising a family committed to national service, including her son, Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to the President. He prayed for her continued good health and the grace to witness the enduring impact of her service to humanity.